of innovation of active biodegradable packaging, a strategy to extend the shelf life of food products. First, I would like to introduce my own self. So my name is Safira, and it is an honor for me to be the master of ceremony for this beautiful occasion. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we officially start the international webinar or this visiting lecture, please allow us to first broadly go through the agenda as follows. We will sing Indonesia's national anthem. And after that, we will listen to the welcoming speech that will be spoken by Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology of Universitas Terbuka. And we will have the main session, the visiting lecture with our great speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Hanani Zainal Abidin, PhD from University Putra, Malaysia. And we will see the ceremony delivering the certificate award to our honorable speaker. And last but not least, we will have a photo session and closing session. And we would like to inform to all of the participants for today's event, for our participants will get a certificate by filling the attendance form that will be shared by the committee at the end of today's event. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, let's pray together according to our respective religions and beliefs. Please start praying. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the Almighty God, gives His blessings and grant our wishes. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin our beautiful event today, let us listen to the national anthem of Indonesia. To all participants, okay, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, next we will listen to the welcoming speech that will be delivered by the Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology of Universitas Terbuka through a video. Please welcome Dr. Subekti Nurmawati, MSc.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Best wishes to all of us. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. On this very fine day and in good health, we can gather in this forum, and it is a privilege that we can join in today's visiting lecture. Our esteemed Associate Professor Dr. Nur Hanani Zainal Abidin, PhD, Deputy Dean Faculty of Food Science and Technology, University Putra, Malaysia. Our Honorable all Vice Deans in Faculty of Science and Technology, Universitas Terbuka, all of the Head of Study Programs in the Faculty of Science and Technology, Universitas Terbuka, especially Ibu Atifah Fauziah, STPMSE, as a Head of Food Technology Study Program. Our Moderator, Ing Muhammad Rajih Radiansyah, Head of Subdirectorate of Cooperation and International Affairs and Lecturer of Food Technology Study Program. All lecturers, students, and all participants who present in this visiting lecture from Malaysia and Indonesia. Firstly, praise is to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His grace and blessings, allowing us to gather in this important forum to discuss a highly relevant topic for the future of food and the environment. Innovation of active biodegradable packaging, a sustainable strategy to extend the shelf life of food product. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem of plastic waste and the decline in food quality during storage are two major issues facing the world today. The food industry is not only required to produce safe and high quality product, but is also obliged to adopt environmentally friendly technologies. In this context, the innovation of active biodegradable packaging is a strategic breakthrough. Active biodegradable packaging is environmentally friendly packaging that not only wraps but also actively protect and extend the shelf life of food while still being biodegradable, thus helping to reduce in conventional plastic waste. Active biodegradable packaging not only function as a protective barrier but also interact positively with food product. On this occasion, we would like to express our gratitude to Ibu Nurhanani Zainal Abidin from UPM for her time and willingness to accept our invitation to share knowledge about active biodegradable packaging in today's visiting lecture. I hope that through this activity, we can exchange knowledge, expand collaboration, and encourage innovation, research that can address real challenges in the field. I hope today's discussion generate ideas that will benefit both academia and industry and contribute to creating a safer, more sustainable, and more environmentally friendly food system. Finally, I would like to thank all the organizers and participants for organizing this event. I hope this event runs smoothly and benefit us all. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Once again, we would like to thank Dr. Numa as the Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology of Universitas Terbuka for delivering such a warm, welcoming speech. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue to the main agenda for today's event, the visiting lecture, with the theme of innovation of active biodegradable packaging, a strategy to extend the shelf life of food products. And in this session, we will listen to the presentation that will be delivered by our honorable speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Nurhanani Zainal Abidin, PhD from University Putra, Malaysia. And for this section, I would like to give attention to all participants who are joining us virtually for this following matters. First, please open up your camera and turn off your microphone during this presentation. If you have any question, please write it down to the Q&A section with the format your name, underscore your institution or UT daerah, and then followed by your own question. Or you can ask directly by using the button, the raise hand feature that already served in this Zoom meeting. And it is expected to all participants to fill the attendance form that will be shared by the link, and this link will be shared on the chat box at the end of this event. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform for this session will be moderated by one of the lecturer from food technology study program, Engineer Muhammad Raji Radiansyah BAS MSc. And now I would like to invite Mr. Raji to guide us through an insightful lecture. So, Mr. Raji, if you may guide this visiting lecture, and this session is yours now.
Thank you, Safira, for the warm introduction. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, it's clear, Mr. Raji.
Okay, thank you so much to the Food Technology Program for inviting me and to this event. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Raji Radiansyah. I am one of the lecturer here in Universitas Terbuka, and right now I will be moderating for this seminar. So today we're going to talk about packaging. As we all know, packaging is one of the essential component in the food delivery system from the producer to the consumer. But what is the main issue with packaging is that they are somewhat unsustainable in regards to the environment. We all know that there are a lot of trash here in our world, and we all know that most of the trash that are thrown by us are from packaging materials, not just from food, of course, but since food is one of the essential things that we consume every day, it is one of the problems that we must tackle, and we must find a way to deliver food in a more sustainable and safe way. And today we have a wonderful speaker from Universitas Putra Malaysia, which will give us information about how we can build food packaging that is sustainable and innovative to reduce the amount of the pollution that we have in this world. So first, I would like to welcome Dr. Nur Hanani to the stage. Dr. Nur, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
you.
okay. Before we start, we will read the CV of Dr. Nur Hanani. Hold on. So Dr. Nur Hanani is So Dr. Nur Hanani is an associate professor in the Universitas Putra Malaysia. She is the Deputy Dean of Development and Networking in the Department of Food Technology in the Faculty of Food Science and Technology. And Dr. Nur Hanani holds a PhD degree from the University College Cork, Ireland, under the School of Nutritional Science, focusing on food packaging. And some of her experience are, she is the associate editor of the Food Packaging and Shelf Life Journal and the advisory board member of the Helion Food Science and Nutrition Journal, which is published by Elsevier. Her skills include food packaging, including active and intelligent packaging, biodegradable polymers, and utilization of biomass for sustainable packaging materials. And Dr. Nur Hanani has been ranked by Stanford as one of the world's top 2% most cited scientists in their respective fields for the career 2025 and single year. And she has been recently awarded for the TWAS UNESCO Associateship 2025. And today she will bring a lecture about the innovation of active biodegradable packaging, a sustainable strategy to extend the shelf life of food products. To Dr. Nur Hanani, I give you the screen.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen first.
Okay, are you able to see? Okay.
1 second. All right, okay. First of all, thank you very much to Pak Muhammad Raji, the lecturer for food technology, as a moderator. Also, Assalamualaikum and good morning to respectful Dean, Dr. Spekti Nurmawati, Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Universitas Terbuka, Deputy Dean, Head of Department, distinguished lecturers, students, especially mahasiswa and mahasiswi UT, and everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer for inviting me today to share about the innovations of active biodegradable packaging, a way to extend the shelf life of food products. Before that, allow me to introduce a little bit about my university. Is it possible, moderator?
Yes, it's visible.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. I'm from University Putra Malaysia, UPM. For those who don't have a chance to visit UPM, please do so. We have two campuses in Malaysia, one in Serdang, which is located 30 minutes from Kuala Lumpur, our capital city, Putrajaya, the administrative office, and also Kuala Lumpur International Airport. And in fact, near to our campus, we have the largest shopping mall for students and also to the staff. And the second campus located in Borneo, Sarawak, and currently we have almost 2,000 academic staff with almost 28,000 students, including undergraduate and postgraduate. Okay, and we also have responsibility centers. Okay. The faculties, including Faculty of Food Science and Technology, we have 15 faculties. We also have 11 institutes, including 3 high COE, Higher Education Center of Excellence, and we also have 2 schools, which is Graduate Studies and Business and Economics. Some of our programs actually getting international accreditation, including one of our program, Bachelor of Food Science and Technology, having accreditation from Institute of Food Technologies, IFT. And this is our main building, Faculty of Food Science and Technology, UPM. We are actually started in 1976 as a department under Faculty of Agriculture. And then in 1982, we become our own faculty, Faculty of Food Science and Technology, by having 2 departments, Department of Food Science and Department of Food Technology. And then we emerged as having additional department, Department of Biotechnology. But in 2004, the Department of Biotechnology became their own faculty, but we still remain 3 departments by having new Department of Food Service and Management. This is our faculty management, and I'm one of the Deputy Dean under Development and Networking. We have 3 departments, one Department of Food Science, Department of Food Technology, and lastly, Department of Food Management and Service. So we also have, on top of office and department, we have teaching factories, including supercritical feed center. We receive samples from companies, especially industries who would like to extract their samples to get the active compound or some important components from plant-based, for example. We also have juice and puree processing pilot plant, meat product processing pilot plant, and we also have our new equipment, high pressure processing, HPP. We receive, we collaborate with industries to do some treatments for their samples. Like, for example, we receive durians from a few companies that being treated with HPP to export to China. In our faculty, we have more than 50 numbers of academic staff, and the total staff are more than 100 to manage and also to run the faculty. Currently, as October 2025, we have more than 800 students, including undergraduate and postgraduate students. We have programs for undergraduate, 4 programs, Bachelor of Food Science and Technology, the one that having accreditation by IFT. We have Bachelor of Science in Food Studies, Bachelor of Science in Food Manufacturing Operations, and Bachelor of Science in Food Service and Management. And this program, Food Science, Science in Food Manufacturing Operations, is very unique, whereby we limit the number of the students because this program is actually 3U1I, whereby during the final year, they have to be in the industry for the internship. And we also offer programs for students doing PhD and masters. We also have masters by coursework, 3 masters coursework, like Master in Food Safety and Quality Assurance. We have Master of Food Technology and also Master in Functional Food Design. And these are the scopes of PhD and Master by Research, including food science until food security and climate change. All right, for the students, we also offer mobility programs, in this case, like inbound mobility at UPM, with long-term and short-term program, including semester exchange, attachment, or summer program. And recently, myself also received students from Thailand actually doing research attachment in my faculty. These are examples of summer programs. And we also have central kitchen, especially for students in food service to do product development or cooking demonstration. And as Faculty of Food Science, we also have services like cafe and restaurants that offer services to the visitors, to the staff, and also for the special event like convocation and also Senate meeting. All right, so when we talk about food, let's go deeper on the topic. Between packaging material and food product, which one you have to consider first? Perhaps I don't know whether we can respond here or not, but if those who decide to choose packaging material as the first, maybe you can raise your hand and we can see the number of the participants who decide packaging materials as the number one to consider. Okay, thank you, Raji. All right, well, it's okay. Let me share again my presentation. Hi, Octavia, I love perhaps deciding food, I believe. By Haki, food, Ani, food. We will figure out the answer perhaps during the journey of this presentation, the sharing, you will know which one is important. But if in case at the end you are not sure, you can still ask me you can ask me about the answer. All right, okay, so well, packaging material versus food products, let's go deeper. Let me share with you as well on the functions of packaging, which actually lead to why we have active packaging. So as we know, the basic knowledge about the function of food packaging, of course, we want to protect food from physical hazard, like for example, light or maybe mechanical vibration, for example. And we also want to protect our food from chemical hazard or biological hazard, including rodent, for example, during storage. And on top of that, we also want to protect the packaging also being used for advertisement, right? Whereby the company use packaging to advertise their brands. Like for example, if we have a look on Coca-Cola, we know that the color of the product white and red. And maybe for Cadbury chocolate, for example, the color, the special purple color, which is actually being patented for their own products, they have their own branding. And they also want to highlight their, how to say, the products, the ingredients, the new elements that they implement in their products. We also have packaging for the reason of containment and convenience. Like before, maybe previously, if we want to buy milk in many years ago, we have to carry our own milk or our own container, own container to purchase milk because in many years ago, there's a lorry or maybe a bicycle that bring you milk and then you have to carry your own container. But now packaging also, because of the unique, how to say, innovation options, we have variety of plastic tray, cups, and etc., which give us the convenience. You can have drink or food during your picnic, during your hiking, traveling. And also by packaging on top of these functions, they also give you knowledge, like the ingredients, for example, maybe how to handle the ingredients, how to prepare the food, the allergy information, nutritional content, etc. And we also have here one element that I would like to add. Instead of PACK, we also have sustainability element, whereby currently it's not an option, but we have to consider this element in our packaging, developing of packaging materials. If we have a look on the food packaging market globally, right, from 2024 until 2032, we can see that the compound annual growth rate from this 2025 to 2032 will be increased up to more than 6%. And the compound annual growth rate is actually an indicator that our investment, whether growing or not, business or investment, whether they give us profit or not. So it's a good investment on this market or this area. And the drivers of these are higher numbers of CAGR, maybe because of the rising demand for convenient food, increasing demand for edible packaging, and also our lifestyle a little bit changing nowadays. Also for young people, for example, they are more aware. And in fact, they are willing, especially in Europe, they are willing to spend more for buying products with biodegradable packaging. And in terms of materials, we can see here actually, roughly if we have a look on the report, plastic is are the number one that being used because maybe because of the low price and also the lightweight. And in terms of application, bakery and confectionery are the highest users, which is almost 40% compared to fruits and vegetable, meat and dairy products. Okay. So the scope of my presentation or sharing today is on definitions of active packaging, biodegradable and sustainable, the sustainability and innovations in packaging, followed by materials and active compounds. We will go a little bit about mechanism of active packaging, the ideas and discoveries today, the opportunities and challenge in active packaging. I will also touch on a little bit about smart packaging, the commercialization of this innovative packaging, including in ASEAN and also worldwide or global. And lastly, the take-home message. And recently, actually, we did some search, the parameter search on some keywords using sustainable, biopolymer, and food packaging from year 2020 to 2026. And we did the search including the article, review paper, book chapter until book. And what we found out that actually the numbers of papers or resources that use these keywords, actually food packaging cater more than 500 keywords, numbers that using food packaging keywords, biopolymers more than 500. We also have biodegradability as the keyword, more than 150, biodegradable polymers 130, and active packaging more than 100. So this is the keywords actually highlighting the trends of packaging research currently. And if we have a look here as well, we can see that if we compare the polymer itself, for example, chitosan, we have here almost 180 keywords using chitosan and followed by cellulose. And we have also have starch and as well as gelatin, protein base. Okay, so in terms of documents by year, if we see the numbers of the documents from 2003, the number of paper that use these three keywords actually only one. And then during pandemic increased to 41. And after pandemic this year, 2025, the numbers of papers using these three keywords actually almost 400 numbers, which indicating that the trends are rising sharply. In terms of country or territory, we can have a look here that the number one is India, okay, producing a lot of research in packaging, followed by China, and then the rest is Brazil, United States, and others. So here we can see that how important is, 1 second, I have to stop this. All right. How important is eco-friendly packaging in Asia? It's very interesting to figure out that Indonesia, 40% share of grocery shoppers who say that environmentally friendly packaging is important when choosing their food. So Indonesian people, especially young generation, I believe they are more aware on eco-friendly packaging, followed by India, and the rest is Thailand, Malaysia, and also China. And the eco-friendly food packaging global market, if we have a look from 2024 until 2029, the compound annual growth rate actually more than 10%, which is giving big or important market growth for eco-friendly packaging. In terms of global market for active packaging, the market share of active packaging by 2024, even though India, followed by China, are the largest producer or active researchers developing active packaging or innovation in packaging, but the market share actually higher in North America. Okay, the first North America, followed by Europe country, and then Asia. So what is active packaging? If we remember just now, the functions of packaging, aiming for the prolonging food shelf life, we have number one just now, protection, containment, giving advertisement, convenient, knowledge, and sustainable. But for active packaging, we have additional active function, which actually this packaging will interact with the products, right? Or the internal environment, for example, gases, which aiming to actually improve the quality of food products, to enhance the safety, and also to extend the shelf life. So instead of having, for example, normal packaging, polyethylene, for example, with this fruit maybe can sustain for 7 days, but if we have active packaging, we hope that the shelf life of this fruit can be extended more than 7 days. So these are actually the role of active packaging in food products. The second one is, what is biodegradable packaging? If we have a look on the polymers, types of polymers, we have conventional polymer, degradable polymer, and also biodegradable polymer. Conventional polymers, maybe it takes 100 years to degrade. But for degradable polymer, it has additional substances that stimulate the degradation. For biodegradable polymers, they roughly fully degrade less than 2 months in industrial composting situations. So here we control the humidity, the temperature, we set special conditions to stimulate the degradation so that the material can be composed. So if we have plastic bag, for example, normal degradation, plastic fragment, the debris, but when we have biodegradation elements or process, we actually have all these plastic fragments change into microbes and then producing some, like for example, H2O, carbon dioxide, and also other elements like biomass, inorganic compounds, etc., by having microbes that stimulate the biodegradation. These are examples of biopolymers available. We have, for biopolymers, we have non-edible, also edible. For example, for non-edible, we said polylactic acid. Plastic is biopolymer, but they are non-edible. We also have, for example, if we have starch-based material, and then we add polyethylene, for example, we combine, or maybe we incorporate in the ingredients of starch, blending, or perhaps we do lamination or coating. So these materials are non-edible. We also have like PVA, PA, for example, that's non-edible materials. For edible, we categorize into a few categories. For example, polysaccharides, protein, and lipid. For polysaccharides, including chitin and chitosan, starch-based materials, galactomannan, pectins, and kefirun. We also have, these are some examples. We also have protein, from protein-based, we have collagen, gelatin. We also have soy protein, pea protein, etc. And in terms of lipid, we can also use wax or oils as lipid component for edible. And normally, normally for lipid base, we add with protein or polysaccharides to enhance the materials, especially to improve the barrier properties. The next question is, what is sustainable? All right, we learn about biodegradability, we learn about edible, we learn about active packaging, but what is sustainable? So sustainable, actually, if we have a look on the definition, is a materials that meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Means that the materials not only being used for us today, but can also being used for the futures, for the generation in the futures. So it's able to continue for a long time, also involving the use of natural products and energy in a way that does not harm the environment. So these are two definitions by Cambridge Dictionary and Oxford Dictionary. And sustainability actually being clarified during 1987 by United Nations. It's a long, many years ago, emphasizing the sustainability elements in packaging. So sustainable packaging materials, actually, these are examples. Sustainable materials from seaweed or carrageenan, cornstarch, or maybe developing materials from mushroom or mushroom waste, the fabric, paper or recycled cardboard, also recycled plastics. Okay, so the sustainable packaging materials are those that minimize environmental impact via entire life cycle from sourcing to disposal. And then they are designed to be non-toxic, reusable, recyclable, compostable from renewable resources or recycled content. And the aim of these sustainable packaging materials are actually to reduce waste, to conserve natural resources, and to lessen the pollution compared to conventional plastic or traditional packaging. Okay, so and for the new technologies in packaging, we have a look here. We have active packaging, right? Covering edible coatings. We have active films, coated polyethylene films. We have essential oils incorporation in packaging. We also have intelligent packaging. We also do some treatment using UV, for example, or maybe plasma to improve the performance of the materials. We have high pressure and also other technologies. Nowadays, I noticed that there are many studies from diverse fields, from engineering, from fundamental science, or in fact, actually from nursing school who actually developing materials for medical purpose, but they can also combined together as for the packaging purpose. So here others including microwave element, electric or electrostatic field, and electrospinning. And these are in terms of technology. We also have technology or innovation in terms of the materials. Like for example, we have elements of nano packaging, nano fillers or nano materials incorporated into packaging materials. Sometimes we also have carbon dots combined with the materials. And we also, nowadays very popular, we use natural products, which actually giving one additional element, sustainable and bio-based materials, which offer non-toxic, eco-friendly elements for the packaging itself. This is one example of our research using pulsed UV light. We did some treatment by exposing UV light to starch-based films that contain papaya leaf extract. So pulse UV treatment from this study actually improved the mechanical durability of cornstarch and cornstarch plus papaya leaf extract without affecting the antioxidant activity. So here we have cornstarch, papaya leaf extract, we casting the materials, and then we did some exposure of UV with different dosage from 0, 4, 12 to 15 joule per centimeter square. And we see the performance in terms of mechanical properties, antioxidant, whereby that's the result revealed that the barrier properties, for example, water vapor permeability, also water contact angle, showing that the cornstarch having good barrier properties with the exposure of UV light. And in terms, surprisingly, in terms of antioxidant properties, we conducted DPPH, also TPC. And here, even though we increased the dosage of UV treatment, there's no reduction for the antioxidant activities of these films. which is good indicator that we can apply the technology to enhance the barrier properties, and at the same time, it still can carry the functional properties of antioxidant. So materials and active compounds for active packaging, we can see here, these are examples of active packaging. We have antioxidant films, antibacterial films, ethylene removal, carbon dioxide absorber, or maybe emitters. We have antifungal materials, temperature control, insect repellents, oxygen scavengers, and sometimes we can also have UV block packaging. And roughly, in general, the materials that we use for this active packaging, in many years ago, we used synthetic-based materials, but nowadays, a lot of research and also investigation do studies on natural products. So we can see here, and also for the mechanism, how the active packaging work. Okay, like normal packaging, for active packaging, they, as we said just now, they carry additional role. It's not being passive, it's active. So the main focus to maintain the freshness by controlling or maybe managing the gases or moisture inside the package. Or maybe this active packaging or active materials can able to control the microbial growth, fungal growth, for example, having properties like antioxidants, like papaya leaf extract just now, or antibacterial properties. So these are examples of how active materials or agents work in active packaging. So in our case, for example, as example just now, we have the starch-based films. Okay, this is the film, and the papaya leaf extract work as an agent which having antioxidant. So here, the study on top of using pulse UV treatment, they also act as antioxidant or active packaging. So the innovations of packaging, all right, we have in general, we have like active packaging and intelligent packaging, but sometimes people also use smart packaging for this innovation. We have I shared just now the examples of active packaging from antioxidant up to UV block packaging. We have on top of that smart packaging, covering on pH indicators, shock indicators, humidity sensor, anti-theft, and time temperature indicators. And as I shared just now, there's a trend whereby previously we studied on synthetic materials, but because of the issue on toxicity, the safety, and the cost of the materials itself, there's a changes in terms of using natural products to replace synthetic materials. And the benefit of natural products are actually they are carrying additional functions like antioxidant or antibacterial, which actually giving further functionalities that able to prolong food shelf life, sustain the food systems, and giving promise for good food quality and also safety. So these are basically the innovations in food packaging. So if we have a look on smart packaging trend in Asia Pacific market, covering active and intelligent packaging, it is expected that the annual growth rate achieve up to more than 7% from 2024 up to 2032. And the emerging markets for this active, smart, and intelligent packaging actually for time temperature indicators and smart labels and also tags. So for those who are interested to do research on this smart packaging, maybe you can also consider time temperature and smart labels. Next, let me share the ideas and discoveries of new ideas and discovery based on our research. We have conducted some studies using different fruit peels, using natural byproducts on the functional properties of gelatin films with polyethylene layer for active packaging. And in this case, we try to compare if we use pomegranate peel, papaya peel, and jackfruit peel, and what happened to the functional properties of these gelatin and polyethylene films. So we conducted the TPC analysis, the total phenolic content, and here we have chitosan as our control, this one. We have adjusted the concentration of fruit peel powders in gelatin bilayer films by having 1% up to 9%. And here we can see that pomegranate, the highest value regardless of the concentration, okay, giving the highest value of TPC, irrespective of the concentration that we use, followed by the third one is this one is jackfruit, also chitosan. So from this finding, we further study the application of pomegranate, because we see that they have like good trend for TPC values. So the next study, we try to investigate the effect of pomegranate peel powder on the antioxidant and antimicrobial properties of fish gelatin films as active packaging. So here we only use fish gelatin films alone. And we try to adjust the concentration from 1% to 5% pomegranate peel powder. And we conducted some studies on inhibition zone, the antibacterial effect, whereby for all these three bacteria, Listeria, E. coli, and Staphylococcus aureus, we can see that when we increase the concentration of pomegranate peel powder, the inhibition zone enlarged. Also for antioxidant DPPH scavenging activities, by increasing the concentration of pomegranate peel, we can see some trends of increasing trend of DPPH values. And for tensile strength, the mechanical properties, incorporation of pomegranate peel powder in gelatin films also increase the tensile strength value. Okay, and another studies that we conducted by investigating the functional and antioxidant properties of protein-based films incorporated with mango kernel extract for active packaging. So we use the mango seed to get the kernel extract, and we compared between two types of protein-based films. The first one is soy protein films, and then the second one is fish gelatin films with different concentration of mango kernel extract. And here we can see that by increasing the percentage of mango kernel extract, regardless of the protein films, we can see some improvement in tensile strength from 1.8 to 3.0, as well as from 4.7 to 7.74. And when we conducted some antioxidant properties, we can see that the DPPH trend for spike protein increased compared to fish gelatin. Even we increase the concentration, still the soy protein isolate films showing the highest DPPH value. And this trend also similar for the total phenolic content TPC, whereby films with soy protein isolate producing more TPC values compared to fish gelatin. And we believe that the reason for this increasing trend of antioxidant in soy protein isolate because of the globular structure of soy protein isolate, whereby when they are in a globular form, they are actually trap the active compound from having interaction with other with the material. So like for example, fish gelatin, we have linear structure. We actually open up the chances for the materials, the active compound to interact with the fish gelatin, whereas for soy protein isolate, we limiting the numbers of functional group to interact with mango kernel extract. So that's the reason why for soy protein films, there are more mango kernel extract available that interact with the chemical producing higher values of DPPH and TPC. And from this, because soy protein showing the best value or the highest value in terms of antioxidant, we conducted storage stability for soy protein isolate films at different temperature, whereby we try to store the films up to 3 months, and we store at different temperature, 25 degrees Celsius, 4 degrees Celsius, and also minus 18 degrees Celsius. And we also have control samples. And we can see here control samples having a very low DPPH value, whereas for 3 samples that are being stored in room temperature or also lower temperatures, the DPPH value is quite stable throughout the storage period. And we also implement these films for food product. We try to package protein isolate, soy protein isolate films for mayonnaise product. And we keep the product for more than 1 month. And here we can see that in terms of parasite value for the control films versus soy protein isolate with mango kernel extract, we can see that soy protein films, the mayonnaise in soy protein isolate films with mango kernel extract contain lower PV values, which is 30% lower compared to the control or samples in control films. The next active packaging that we developed is we tried to produce insect repellent food packaging by having natural products, curry leaf essential oil, and then we incorporated this curry leaf essential oil in chitosan-based films. And this study actually being investigated in terms of mechanical properties, barrier properties, as well as the inhibition zone as antibacterial properties. And we also conducted for insect repellent by exposing the films to the flies. Here we can see from figure 1, figure A, we have control film. The second one is we have this pepper disc with curry leaf essential oil. And then these two materials actually contain shrimp paste, or I don't know what we call it in Indonesia. We call it belacan, the very smelly shrimp paste. And after 1 hour, we expose the materials, films, and this to the flies. There are, how to say, there will 7 flies remain in this control, and 3 flies still trying to go to this belacan, even though the disc contain curry leaf essential oil. And we tried to compare with materials having control. And the second films actually chitosan films enriched with 1% curry leaf essential oil. After 1 hour study or exposure to this shrimp paste, all the flies, 10 flies actually remain in control without going to these active packaging materials. And this study actually conducted up to 4 hours. And I mean, if you want to know further how's the findings, you can also read this article for more information. All right. So the trends, brands, and sustainability. In terms of ASEAN, we can have a look here. In ASEAN, for example, active packaging are being applied widely, especially recently after COVID. If we compare a few years back, there are a lot of research on active packaging, including intelligent packaging, but nowadays a lot of industries are willing to investigate and also to do some investment to develop the materials. Like for example, here we have moisture absorption called Subabsorb, which are actually a company that from Malaysia. They develop the material that absorb, retains, and isolate excess biological fluids, especially for poultry product, meat, for example, or chicken, to ensure prevention of contamination and bacteria growth. And this is normally applied if you buy the products in supermarket. We also have ethylene scavenging stickers called Stick Fresh, whereby this sticker contain a mixture of sodium chloride and beeswax. They're able to slow down the fruit ripening. For example, these mango fruits, by having seeds fresh, you can actually delay the ripening process. Thereby, you actually having longer shelf life. And this sticker will remove the ethylene and excess moisture. The next examples, Humipack Malaysia, whereby they develop oxygen absorbing sachet to absorb the oxygen in the products, especially for dry products and food products that are sensitive to oxygen. In terms of intelligent packaging, we have temperature indicator, Humipack, whereby this temperature indicator will identify thermal damage in package. So if your product, for example, need to store in 4 degrees Celsius, but maybe because of mishandling, you suddenly put your samples at room temperature, the temperature indicator will give you information or notification that the product's being temperature abused. The second example is thermochromic labels from Singapore, Kon Hon Sen. They develop thermochromic labels that actually sensitive to the temperature, also giving indicator or information to the consumers or this or to the producers that there's some temperature shift of the product when the indicator change the color. And in fact, I think some products nowadays also use thermochromic labels. Like for example, recently in summer, Cadbury chocolate, they have thermochromic labels whereby if you put your sample, your chocolate or products in a cold temperature, you have additional figures in your products. But if you put at room temperature, the figure disappear. So this is, I think this technology being applied in many products nowadays. And another example, digital watermark developed by a company in Thailand. They embedded digital data code on printed image of package that cannot be seen by naked eye, but can be read using smartphone or tablets. And this reason is actually to avoid any counterfeiting or also to allow the product tracking. These are only examples of the technologies, but I believe we have a lot of technologies available in the markets, including in Indonesia, that evolve and also being applied currently. There's also initiative for sustainability by Thailand, whereby they develop recycled food packaging from advanced recycling technology for the first time in ASEAN, whereby they convert the used plastic into circular feedstock, and then they produce again this plastic for another purpose. And the materials they claim actually are having equivalent properties to virgin plastics and being certified. And also in Singapore, they develop molecular markers embedded directly into plastics, which actually giving the materials scannable and also able to be verified by using digital passport. So the opportunities and challenges related to this area, they are growing. The opportunities that growing consumer awareness of food safety and waste reduction. A lot of people nowadays, in fact, the governments also do a lot of campaign on food safety, on waste reduction, green packaging, and etc. And another opportunity is that in most of the countries, the government also initiate additional initiative policies, special policies for green packaging, which are actually good for the industries, especially, and also for the researchers to align the research towards green packaging. But still, yet we still have challenges for this area. Like for example, if you want to develop smart packaging, especially using special sensor or indicators, perhaps you also need to consider in terms of the cost of the technology. And in some cases, we have lack of regional regulatory harmonization, especially in ASEAN. I think we don't have special regulation for this type of packaging. And we also have limited industrial scale production for biopolymers. We have a lot, like for example, Malaysia itself, one of the largest producers for plastics base. That's why in our country, we have very cheap. I mean, you can buy plastic in a cheaper price. And sometimes because of this, I believe we don't appreciate the campaigns of using recycled plastics or bringing plastics for the shopping to the shopping mall, for example, because we believe just paying 20 cents or 10 cents, you get the plastic bags already. So, but if we able to produce industrial scale biopolymers that can be distribute to a huge region, including other countries, this is good to promote the biopolymers and green packaging. In Malaysia, for example, we have policy and commitments. For example, we have Malaysia's roadmap towards zero single-use plastics, 2018 until 2030. And we also have special roadmap for Malaysia plastic sustainability. If I'm not mistaken, when I joined one of the conference in Indonesia, and the speakers from Danone Indonesia presenting the sustainable packaging in Indonesia, he also shared about these policies regarding sustainability and also plastics recycling, which actually conducted in Indonesia. It's very good initiative by the governments. And we also have a special, how to say, policy for manufacturers. We have circular economy policy framework. And in fact, we also have special tax reduction for the industries that able to use like recycled plastic or like producing materials having less carbon production, for example. So they have a special tax reduction for these industries. So sustainability is no longer optional. Okay, we have to adapt this and try to align our research, align our applications and usage and awareness to this topic or element. And then it's very interesting to see that globally, okay, even though in ASEAN we can see the trend, but a bit slow, but in global, we can see the nowadays the shift quite faster or how to say tremendous, whereby there are a lot of research or commercialization products that are aligned with biodegradability and also sustainability. And in fact, some materials also products that they sell in the markets also contain additional functions like active packaging. So one example, Zampla plastic. Okay, normally if we have paper-based container, we have additional coating, and depending on the purpose, normally this coating is actually non-biodegradable. But nowadays there are trends to use plant-based coating. And Zampla, for example, having plastic-free coating for takeaway box, and they use natural barrier coating that they claim fully biodegradable, home compostable, and compatible with standard recycling process. So you can process or you can recycle the material straight away without having any what we call it. We don't have to do separation to separate the coating and also the paper. So in this case, we speed up the process as well as reduce the cost. The second technology by PurePack eSense aseptic carton. And in this case, normally if we have carton, we know that carton normally contain many layers of plastics or combination of aluminum or maybe paper. And this company actually successfully produced material paperboard that claims sustainable, and they managed to produce this carton without aluminum. And because of no aluminum, they're able to reduce carbon footprint up to 50%. These materials, they claim lighter, reduced emissions, optimized recycling, and also consumer convenience. Let me share some examples also on intelligent packaging, whereby for intelligent packaging, we can have one example is time temperature indicator, fresh meter time temperature, and also smart label secures fresh and easy seafood safety. So here is one example, fish, tilapia fillet in overseas, they wrap this, they put this material in plastic tray, laminate or using cling films or laminate with plastics, and they have like indicator, fresh meter, whereby this indicator will change color during the storage. So perhaps fresh, dark blue, and then after a few days or after a few hours, the sensor will change, and if changed to gray, do not use or do not consume. So as a consumer, you are not only rely on the expiry date, but you can also see this indicator that giving you accurate information on the quality or the status of the product, of the food product. And also for the producers, they can use this to check whether they have like maybe mishandling, or maybe they put abuse temperature during storage, for example, which actually they can do the screening on the products and eliminate from the shelf. Another example of intelligent packaging by Kellogg's, whereby they actually introduced this during pandemic. They did some trial. They have a special technology that help the people with sight loss to scan the products. And in fact, this packaging also contain braille printing that helps these people to get information from the package, and the information actually being delivered through the smartphone. So they scan the information, and they got the input that they need for the products. Talking about sustainable, we can see here the trend, especially in Europe, they are working, or they are using a lot of paper-based materials. And one of the examples in the UK, they use from the Marks and Spencer. Last year, they tried to replace plastic bag with paper packaging for garlic baguettes. And we know that these big companies, they produce a lot of products. So when they replace paper packaging, instead of using plastics, they're able to eliminate 5.5 million units of plastics from the supply chain. So it's a very huge impact to the supply chain, and also to the plastics usage. The next example, since Sainsbury's, also from the UK, they previously used plastic tray, but now for their chicken, they package in paper board tray that able to cut the plastics. And they claim also that this, even though they are paper-based tray, they're able to provide sealing, hermetic sealing, and also they can also implement modified atmosphere technology or packaging for this product. And these are two examples from the industries. We also have other industries, like for example, from Germany, Lidl, Aldi, they also use a lot of products, especially frozen products. For example, chicken nuggets, sausage, pizza, or maybe fish fillet, they use paper-based products without any plastics for this frozen food. And for EU, they have revised their direction recently for EU Waste Framework Directive, WFD. The revision is actually to lower the environmental and climate impact of waste management, improve resource efficiency, and also to harmonize the rules across member states, because actually they target to to do some reduction or recycling up to certain percent, but they're supposed to achieve this, if I'm not mistaken, by this year, but they're not able to achieve the target, so they revise the framework and to get the better results. And the latest news recently, last week, right? There's a company producing edible coffee cup. They claim world's first edible, but later I'll share with you why it's not. For me, it's not the first edible coffee cup. And we know nowadays the trends of young people, even for not young people, for everyone, we drink the trend to drink coffee or tea, and there are actually almost 500,000 plastic cups that use across the globe every day. It's not every year, every day, and only 1% being recycled. The rest, 99%, end up in oceans or in soil. They developed this cup-free products. They claim it's edible, stay crunchy for at least 40 minutes. Even if they have direct contact with hot beverage, it's still crunchy. Can withstand drink temperatures up to 85 degrees Celsius. You can have hot cappuccino in this cup. Resist leakage for up to 12 hours, even though you have a hot drink or maybe cold ice, cold drink, the cup can retain the leakage for half a day. 100% biodegradable, able to break down in a few weeks. The excess materials, when they produce this, they recycle or they reuse for producing stirrer for this cup. And they have a few international partners, including Lavazza, the coffee producers, also Etihad Airways. I'm not sure whether this cup already being used in the flight, but I hope this is, I mean, the good initiative by these big companies actually will shift the direction of edible packaging as well as biodegradable materials. So these are the first. This is the claim that they make, and it's very interesting to see this. But in May recently, in one of the cafe in Malaysia, Coffee Bean Tea Leaf, they actually introduced edible cup for drink. And if you have a look on the price, it's very expensive, which I don't know. Me myself not willing to buy the product, but you can try. And for me, the initiative is very encouraging. It's good moment whereby when these huge companies do some how to say investment or step to invest on these materials or on this subject, they are actually helping the commercialization of products, especially from the researchers that produce a lot of materials to be used for the applications. And the innovations in sustainable packaging, we have additional innovations on top of active packaging. And also the one that I mentioned just now, we have potato starch bottles. They produce bottles from potato starch. They also have like blockchain integrated smart packaging. For example, Nestle and IBM already collaborate, and they collaborated to use QR products tracking. Plant-based films that use natural antimicrobial properties, for example, clean films. There are products available in the market. Cellulose-based packaging, edible sensor, and also edible packaging. Edible packaging has been explored many years ago, but I see the trends nowadays become highlighted again. For example, like edible cup. We have plant-based plastics, water-soluble sachets for condiments, like you just put in hot water and this sachet will immerse, solubilize in hot water. Mushroom-based packaging, also one of the innovations currently in sustainable packaging. Let me share one interesting findings or initiative by Brazil company. I have shared this before in one of my speech during a recent conference, whereby Brazil actually able to achieve 100% aluminum can recycling rate. And the question is, can it be replicated in the EU? This actually, Brazil, I think 3 years ago, they achieved 100%, but they still maintain its record for this year, 2025. But what made them to achieve this target actually, Brazil set, how to say, special rules or agreement with the industry, commitment agreement, whereby the industry need to purchase the product 100% of the scrap. And this scrap actually generated by their people, by the social, by the waste pickers, for example. So the government set a rules that industries needs to buy the product, indirectly helping their people or the waste pickers to generate incomes. And with this support, actually, like government, industries, publics, all together working on this. So I think that's one of the sorts of key important, the key elements that make this initiative successful, getting 100% recycling. And for me, I think in our country also awareness, we still need to invest on the awareness, and it's possible to do this in our country. The future directions now, there are directions for 100% using recyclable materials or recycle friendly, at least. And then there's also trend or direction to use mono material, or only one material instead of use many materials, especially for like plastic versus paper that you need to do some separation during recycling, or maybe monolayer with optimum characteristics. Also direction for active and edible packaging, and lastly on integration of Internet of Things and also AI in smart packaging systems, especially for monitoring and tracking products. My questions, all right, I'm not sure, I don't think that I can get the feedback because of this, we cannot do the poll. The questions is, what do you think about this product? All right, do you think it's milk or orange juice, or maybe actually they are actually both orange juice and milk, right? So I give you a few seconds to think and then keep your answer. Maybe you can also answer in chat box, that we can know how many of you decided that this product is milk or orange, or maybe both. You can give the feedback in the on the chat box. So I would like to share a little bit about design. I hope I still have time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. The design is should be clean for the packaging, especially for for today's trend. Should be clean and no confusion. Brand consistency. Packaging reflects overall brand identity. All right, so packaging easy to use and maintain the freshness of the products. The design also prioritize sustainability. When the products highlighting the sustainability, people tends to buy the products. Use good quality of materials, which actually can protect the food products. And here is very interesting in terms of the design. There's a recent study which actually published for 2026 from a researcher in China. They investigate how to present insect images on packaging, because this product actually maybe insect food, all right? The impact of aesthetic design on the acceptance of insect food. So they have two types of designs. One is high classical aesthetic presentation with 4 ends display nicely, whereas low classical aesthetic presentation, the ends scattered, not arranged accordingly. And from this study, they found out that the results indicated that high classical aesthetic presentation, this one, increased consumers' purchase intention compared to this scattered end. Because of the classical aesthetic presentation perceived increases perceived priority, which in turn enhance perceived helpfulness and ultimately elevates purchase intention. So yeah, so this one being preferred by the consumers. And if you have a look on the trends on design, nowadays most of the design use minimalist, all right, clean, uncluttered layout, a minimal graphic, and also neutral color. They also use element of eco-friendly aesthetic, especially for the products that they claim eco-friendly. They use earthy colors, natural textures, or sometimes they also use recyclable materials. Sometimes they also use vintage element because we know that when the product looks classic or nostalgic, it is a powerful tool to attract our attention and also give a memory of using the products. And also interactive packaging, AI added value to the products. Maybe they have like QR code using smartphone to get the information. Sometimes, like recently, a drink they use smart code for the consumers to scan and get the music from the products. Bold and vibrant colors. This is especially for young generations, eye-catching and make people to see the products. So the take-home message actually, active and smart packaging, crucial for sustainable food systems, especially in ASEAN. I think it's possible to highlight this in our region. Shift from conventional to eco-functional packaging. There are a lot of efforts nowadays, especially from industries, and I believe with the government support, this can be done rapidly. Design influence the decision making. Of course, the design will give us the decision to choose the products. All right, and then the role model, for example, Brazil just now, showing that the collaboration between government, authority, industries, and society is the key to the success of the campaign or initiative. So if we have a look on the pattern search, if we have smart packaging, which is covering active and intelligent packaging globally from 2016 to 2025, we can see here China is the highest, the first country that patented the product, followed by United States, European, and others. So with that, I would like to thank the organizer, Universitas Terbuka, for inviting me today for the sharing. I hope my sharing session give benefits to all of you, also to UPM for supporting my research, my Foodpack team. We have group members doing research on ethylene absorber, active packaging, insect repellents, as well as pH indicator for food products, and also all of you for your kind attention. And I hope if you have interest or more information, or you want to know more information about this area or about the group, you can contact me. And I would like to share about the postgraduate opportunity in UPM, whereby we also offer some scholarship to the students even under Indonesia. You have Lembaga Pengelola Dana Pendidikan, which is actually linked with UPM for the Indonesian students. Also currently open for SEACA full masters and PhD scholarship if you are interested. And we also have our incoming conference next year, 2026. International Food Research Conference, which will be held in Bangi Resort Hotel, Malaysia. So you are most welcome to join the conference. And I hope this is the starting point for our future collaborations and networking. Thank you so much. So this is the answer for the milk just now. Okay, it's a milk pack that changes color every day as the expiry dates get near. So this technology being developed 30 years ago from Japan, but there's an issue regarding the design because people thought that perhaps it's an orange juice, and because after a day, the orange or the bubble keep increasing. So there are debate on this packaging, but yeah, this is the technology that being developed on smart packaging. With that, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Nurhanani, for your presentation. It was very insightful about sustainable packaging and how we, as countries in the Asian region, can develop sustainable packaging for the benefit of our communities. So let me read a summary of your presentation. So your presentation is about innovations in active and biodegradable packaging, and you explain about the advances in technologies such as active films and then intelligent indicators and bio-based or biopolymer-based materials that play a crucial role in food safety, extending shelf life, and also promoting sustainability. And also you present global research trends such as UV and plasma treatments and the use of natural products and natural compounds as functional packaging components. You also share about the practical examples of in international and also Asian markets, such as the use of moisture absorbers, ethylene scavengers, and examples of smart labeling system that is increasingly adopted by the industry. And you also highlight the opportunities and challenges in developing greener packaging, such as the opportunities are the growing consumer awareness in food safety and waste reduction, and also government initiative, but also the challenges with the cost of producing the smart packaging materials, and also the lack of regional and regulatory harmonization, and also limited industrial scale production of biopolymers. You emphasize the need for strong collaboration between academia, industry, and policymakers to advance the sustainable food packaging innovations. We hope that the future directions of the food packaging is that there will be 100% recyclable or recycle friendly, and also uses monomaterials with optimum characteristics, and also the use of active and edible packaging, as well as the use of the IoT and AI in smart packaging systems. I think that summarized your presentation as a whole. Now, I will give some time, about 30 minutes, for the Q&A session. So first, I will give floor to the direct questions from the audience. So if anyone wants to question Dr. Nurhayani directly, I give you the floor. You can use the raise hand function for your questions, and then I will give the floor to you. But first, since there are no yet any questions available, I will move on to the question from the chat. So if anyone, if the committee can change the screen for the questions. Can we have the questions from the chat box? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, it's still not showing up for me. Let me see. So maybe I will just read the question for you. Oh, here we go. So the first question is from our student named Rani from the food technology program. So what are the main challenges in developing active biodegradable packaging for commercial scale food industries? So Dr. Nur, you can.
Alright.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raji, and thank you, Rani, for the questions. The main challenges in developing active biodegradable packaging for commercial scale. we know that the cost of the material, how to say, the industries, they are not willing to spend money to do some investment to set up new products or new machines for biodegradable packagings. I think that's the main issue or the main challenge because, but this challenge actually can overcome because when we previously developed conventional plastics, for example, polyethylene, polypropylene, we also need the machines. And at first, the investments, I mean, the company need to invest certain amount of money to set up the equipment. And once you have the equipment, when you do the production, you produce a lot of materials continuously. So because of that, the value of the materials can get cheaper and you can have more demands. And this is possible for biodegradable packaging, having some investment to, or maybe to alter or align the packaging line to incorporate the biodegradable polymers and then try to do some studies on improving the materials. It's possible to commercialize. Then you can have, it's possible to do this by doing improvement in the machine. So that's the challenge in terms of how to say, the willingness of the companies to spend money for the machine.
Okay, so the biggest challenge is always the cost of production. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nur, for your answer. Next, we have the question from Dina Anggraini. Next question, please. Yeah. So the next question is, how long is the ideal time for used packaging that could be decomposed perfectly? And then are there edible packaging and decomposable packaging that is completely safe for the product and will not cause any health issue?
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dina Anggraini. The first questions, how long is the ideal time to decompose perfectly for the used packaging? To answer this, it depends on the composition of the materials. For example, if you have a lot of additive, maybe you add some additive to enhance the strength of the materials, for example, perhaps and depending on the materials, that will take longer time to decompose. And some materials are, how to say, like if you use conventional based materials, it takes 100 years to decompose. So it's very challenging. So it depending on the materials and the composition. So I couldn't give you the how to say, the solid answer for this. Sorry. And are the edible packaging or decomposable packaging completely safe for products? If, like, for example, just now we see that edible cup, they did some testing. They use edible materials, for example. That one we can claim is how to say, safe, no issues, because normally they will use the edible materials or maybe food products itself. For the compostable packaging, decomposable packaging doesn't mean it's safe for the health. The decomposable packaging is the process that the material decompose in landfill, for example, or in special condition. So even though it's not edible, perhaps it is decomposed, but it's not edible. So in this case, it's not safe for our consumption. But maybe for the health, for the environment, perhaps it's good. So there are two different categories for this: edible versus decompostable. So you have a clear answer that edible, if they claim edible, they have a standard analysis or testing. It's safe for the health, unless if they use like very high content of sugar, perhaps not good for people with diabetic, for example, or maybe can contribute to the high consumption of sugar in your body. But for decomposable materials, it's not exactly edible. So here there are two different things, and decomposable, maybe the materials can give health problem to create health problem. And yeah, it's we have to be careful on this.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nur, for your answer. And I hope that clears up that we shouldn't just willy-nilly consume decomposable packaging. Next question, please. I think the next question is from Muhammad. So he asked, what are the key functional trade-offs between rapid degradability and the necessary barrier properties required for extending shelf life, especially against moisture and oxygen? And how do nanocomposites specifically help overcome these barrier challenges?
All right, thank you, Pak Raji. Thank you, Muhammad. What are the key functional trade-off between rapid biodegradability and necessary? It's difficult to answer. It's depending on your purpose. And to answer this also, if you remember my first questions between packaging materials versus food products, which one is the first that you have to consider? So have you got the answer? Pak Raji, did you get the answer?
Yeah, I think it's the food product that is most important because you have to determine your packaging based on what are your properties, your food properties. Yeah.
Excellent. So so here it depends on the application. Food product, for example, if for food products that you want to protect, for example, how to say, a product that's sensitive to moisture, of course you want to have high barrier towards moisture to prolong the shelf life of food. But in this case, high barrier, it can be you can have additional element or additive that you add to the materials to boost the barrier properties. But these materials, perhaps you have to be careful whether it's biodegradable or not. If it's biodegradable, you don't have any issue towards enhancing the performance and plus biodegradable. But if the materials contain maybe, for example, we know that conventional or petroleum-based polymers are superior in terms of barrier properties. If we add these elements, perhaps depending on the composition or the percentage, if we have more, maybe the biodegradability rates become lower. But if we use a little bit, maybe we can actually cut the process faster. But if we have materials that biodegradable but having good performance in terms of barrier, maybe we can actually achieve both good biodegradability as well as good barrier performance. And I hope I answered the questions. And also, how do nanocomposites help overcome this barrier challenge? We have, especially for if we compare between biodegradable versus petroleum-based materials, we know petroleum-based excellent in terms of giving lower barrier, lower permeability towards oxygen, toward moisture, compared to bio-based polymers. And that's the reason why we have nanocomposite actually to improve the barrier properties of these biodegradable polymers. How? Because depending, like for example, maybe you have a nanocomposite, for example, maybe you add titanium oxide or maybe silica gel, not silica gel, what they call it, maybe graphene oxide in nanoparticle, for example. The aim is actually to how to say, to prolong the tortuosity of the moisture to passing through the materials. So instead of you have straight path for the moisture to pass through your materials, by having these nanoparticles, you are actually structure, or you re-engineer the material structure so that the particles, so that the moisture or the gases need to have long pathway before they release from the packaging or from outside to the packaging. So a nanocomposite actually used not only to enhance the barrier properties, but also for other purposes, like for example, maybe mechanical properties and maybe UV blocking as well. So depending on the materials.
All right. Thank you for the answer. We're going to move on to the next question. It's from Andrew. It's from Andrew. In your opinion, which are between the two, edible or non-edible biodegradable packaging is more favorable, and why is that?
All right, interesting. Thank you, Andrew. Edible, non-edible, biodegradable packaging. For me, it depends on the application purpose. For example, like the one that I showed you to you just now, edible cup. It looks fancy, trendy, you know, for maybe for young people, it's cool to have these edible cups. But are you willing to spend more, for example, if the cups, the edible cups, maybe pricey? So for me, I rather choose non-edible but biodegradable. So depending on your needs or your interest, as long as how to say edible, non-edible, as long as it's biodegradable, I think that's a good bonus for us. You know, like to at least to control or reduce the plastic waste to the ocean or to the land. Yeah, both are very good. But yeah, up to you to choose edible or non-edible.
Yes, so it depends on what kind of application you want your packaging to be.
Yes.
So I will check first if there are any direct questions from the audience. There are none, so we can move on to the next questions from the chat. So from Dewi, she asked, in active packaging, how do you ensure the release of antimicrobial or antioxidant compounds to remain stable and controlled and effective throughout the entirety of the product shelf life? And this is without compromising the food integrity and sensory quality. Dr. Nur?
All right. Okay, thanks, Devi. We can actually, to confirm this, in the laboratory, we can do how to say a release study, actually migration study, to monitor whether this antimicrobial or antioxidant release, how much they release, or during the storage, what happened once they release. We can control this, and actually the release rate depending on, for example, if you study for acid product or high acidic food product, or maybe you study on high fat products, they are different. In reality, to control this is very, for me, it's quite difficult, because we don't know what happened during transportation, during storage, how they control everything, how do they make sure that the temperature well maintained, for example. So maybe during transportation, because of the vibration, or maybe because of the sudden temperature change, these antimicrobial or agents in the packaging could be released without we realize, or how to say, uncontrollable. So yeah, for reality is quite difficult, but for the lab scale, or how to say, for the research, we can confirm this by doing migration study.
Okay, so you need to do a migration study when you are to make sure that you have the timing of the release of the antimicrobials and the antioxidant compounds to make sure that you're. But it's not certain because of the conditions within the distribution process.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is from Firman. His question is, if using pomegranate peel for edible films, does it affect the sensory of the product, especially for the taste of the product?
Thank you, Freeman. I I didn't try my pomegranate peel film, or pomegranate peel itself. What's the taste?
I think it's bitter. Usually it's bitter.
Yeah, bitter. I think I found one product recently used by pomegranate peel as one of the ingredients, and not bad actually. I think because they can sell the products. It may affect the sensory if you use a lot, but also you also need to consider, if you use these peel elements, you also need to consider in terms of toxicity, right? The amount of the toxicity value. And I think for pomegranate peel, slightly bitter, but if you have other materials very strong, for example, maybe you add for example, oil, essential oil, lemongrass oil, for example, that could be affected, could affect the sensory. But for pomegranate peel, you still can control.
Okay, so it might affect the products,
Mhm.
but it's not. You have to make sure that the ingredients of your product balances out the taste of the pomegranate peel itself.
Exactly.
Okay. Next question is from, I think it's from Echo. Yeah, okay. It's from Echo. She asked, is there a specific regulation in Malaysia for active and smart packaging?
All right, thank you, Eko. So far, we don't have specific regulation. As I told just now, in Asian, for example, we don't have specific regulation for this type of innovation. But in Europe, for example, or in other regions, they have their regulations, which we also refer to their regulations.
Okay, so we borrow the regulation from
Exactly.
the EU. Okay.
Yes.
And then next question is from Deandra, and she asks, what are the key challenges in choosing biopolymer matrix for active edible coatings to maintain the stability and the effectiveness of active compounds without sacrificing the sensory and mechanical quality?
Thank you, Dendra. The key challenges. From my experience, choosing the biopolymer metric is not, how to say, is not the main challenge is not because of we want to carry the active compounds. The most the main challenge of using biopolymer matrix is how to improve the barrier properties, right? Because they are biodegradable and they are very sensitive to moisture, to water, for example. So if your product, liquid product, what type of biopolymer is suitable to apply with your products? So even though you use starch base or you use protein base, to maintain the active compound is not the big challenge. You can control, you can have this without any problem. The thing is to improve the water permeability, for example, or maybe a gas permeability.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Noor, for your for your answer. Now, if there are no more questions from the audience, I think this is the end of the chat questions. So with that, I will also end the Q&A session for today's session. So with that, also I would like to thank Dr. Noor Hanani for her presentation in the innovative sustainable packaging. It is very insightful, and I'm sure that our students and colleagues learn a lot about the use of sustainable packaging in our society currently. Thank you so much, Dr. Noor Hanani.
Most welcome. Thank you too.
And with that, I also would like to thank the committee for choosing me as the moderator, and I will give the floor back to Ms. Safira.
Okay, once again, thank you, Mr. Raji, for guiding us through an insightful session for this visiting lecture session. And once again, we would like to thank also for our honorable speaker, Dr. Noor Hanani, for delivering such an insightful knowledge about innovation of active biodegradable packaging, a strategy to extend the shelf life of food products. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a token of appreciation to our honorable speaker, right now we will deliver a certificate of appreciation to our speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Noor Hanani Zainal Abidin, PhD from University Putra Malaysia, and this certificate will be delivered by Vice Dean for Students, Learning Services and Partnerships of Faculty of Science and Technology of Universitas Terbuka, Dr. Pepi Rospina Pertiwi, MSI. Dr. Pepi, this time is yours now.
Terima kasih Mbak Safira. Terima kasih Ibu Nurhanani. Thank you for sharing the interesting information, knowledge about food packaging. We know that packaging is a crucial aspect of product health and for marketing too. But I apologize that the dean was unable to attend the event until the end of event. So I will present the certificates for you. Thank you for your sharing, and I hope
Thank you so much as well for the invitation.
okay. I hope your presentation is beneficial to you, the students, and to everyone who attended this webinar. Okay, Miss Safira.
Okay, thank you once again, Dr. Pepi, for delivering the certificate of appreciation to our speaker. And before closing this event officially, we would like to invite to all principals of Faculty of Science and Technology of Universitas Terbuka, our honorable speaker, Dr. Nurhanani, officials, and all of the participants who joining us virtually through this Zoom to have a photo session with us together. So please, sir, madam, open your camera. We will have two photo sessions. The first one, we will have a formal style. And the second, we will have the iconic pose of Universitas Terbuka, Salam Putih. You with the right hand and this with the left hand shaping the T side. Okay, so we will have the first photo session with the formal pose. So I would like to invite to all participants to open up the camera, and we will help by counting down from 3, 2, 1. Once again with the formal pose in 3, 2, 1. And last but not least, the UT pose, Salam UT. Okay. If you mind, Dr. Nurhanani. Okay, thank you. In 3, 2, 1. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Such an insightful and beautiful occasion that we have today. Once again, we would like to thank all of the principals, the officials, our honorable speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Nurhanani Zainal Abidin, PhD, all of the participants who already joining us in this visiting lecture session that already presented by the Food Technology Study Program of Faculty of Science and Technology of Universitas Terbuka. And ladies and gentlemen, so we have reached the end of today's event. On behalf of the committee and the whole faculty, especially Food Technology Study Program, we would like to extend our gratitude for the speakers, all of the participants for your contributions on this event. And also, I would like to remind to all of the participants of today's event to fill the attendance form by clicking the link that already shared by the committee, and you will get a certificate of participation. And we hope today's event become a great experience for you to share knowledges, experiences, and inspirations. Hope to see you again on the next visiting lecture. My name is Vera. Once again, thank you. Have a good day and see ya on the next visiting lecture session. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you
Bye.
so much, Ibu Hanani. Safira,
Terima
makasih.
kasih juga menjemput. Okay,
Sampai
jumpa
jumpa
lagi,
lagi
insyaAllah.
kapan-kapan.
InsyaAllah. Bye.
So much, Dr.
And
Nurhanani.
live semua.
Terima
Bye-bye.
kasih semua.
Terima
Terima kasih,
kasih.
Mas Raji.
Yo.
Tanah airku Indonesia.